All right, boys and girls, this is lesson 8-4, Mxl Additional Practice in Pearson. And we are going to tackle this question right here. It says, name a pair of adjacent angles. And remember, adjacent means next to one another. Are there any points that all the adjacent angles in this figure share? If so, state what they are. If not, explain why not. Okay, well, here we go. What angle would be adjacent to, just name any pair. So we could take, for example, let me make this line a little thicker. We could take this angle if we wanted to focus on this one, right there. What angle would be adjacent to that one? Well, we could take this angle would be adjacent because they share a common side, right? Or if we focus on the red angle, then either of the blue angles could be adjacent to that one, like this one, or the other blue one. So the red angle has two adjacent angles, and each blue angle is adjacent to the red one. The blue ones are not adjacent to one another. So let me erase all that so we can see the letters. Okay, so let's make this a little skinnier line, and we'll say that this angle PON is adjacent to POQ. Let's see if we can find that. And remember, PON can also be angle NOP, so let's look for that. Oh, here's NOP and QOR. No, that's not it. Here's POQ, that's the middle one, and QOR. That'll work. That's a good possible answer. POQ and POR, no, those don't work, because you can't have an angle and another angle inside of that angle. Those aren't adjacent angles. Let's see, NOQ, NOQ, and POR. No, those certainly aren't adjacent, so it's C, that one. Okay, you got it? I think you got it. The next question is a data analysis or error analysis question, and it says, Dexter needs to find each angle in this figure that is adjacent to LON. So all the angles that are adjacent to oops, I did the wrong one. LON. That's that angle right there. Now, which ones are adjacent to that? Let's put them in red. Okay, that would be LOK and KON. And P, this one right here, PON. So all those are adjacent angles to, okay, now all we've got to do is find them. Let me erase, now remember which angles they are. This angle, this big angle, and this little angle. Okay, so not KOP, but KON. So first let's find that. KON, definitely one of the answers, okay? And then PON, definitely one of the answers. Or NOP. Okay, so there it is right there. And what else did we say? LOK or KOL. Right there. So those three will be the answer. Go ahead and check that out. And hopefully you understand why. If not, ask me a question. All right, let's see what this one says. It says, use vertical angles to find the value of x. And remember, vertical angles are congruent. So this angle, if I make a little mark right there, is congruent to this angle, okay? So we know that if we set up an equation that x divided by 6, that's that angle at the top, is equal to 40 degrees. That's the angle at the bottom. So a little cross multiplication. If we put this over 1 and then we cross multiply, we get x times 1 equals 6 times 40. And so x times 1 is x, and 6 times 40 is 240. There we go. We just found out what x is. We're going to put that right there in our answer. So simple. You guys know how to do this. All right, let's try another one. This one says find the measure of the complement of an 18-degree angle. So if I draw angles that are complements of each other, like that, and I say this one is 18 degrees, 18 degrees, and these all both add up to 90 degrees because that's the definition of complementary angles, is that they add up to 90. So if this angle right here is x, and we would say x plus 18 equals 90. We subtract 18 from both sides of our equation, and x equals 72. Just like that. So easy. I know you guys got this. Next question. This one says the measure of angle 1 is 39 degrees. So if I write that in right there, if I redraw this shape, it looks like this. And this is 90, and angle 1 is 39 degrees. Find the measure of the angle adjacent to angle 1. Well, that's, boys and girls, that's this angle right here. That's this angle. That's the adjacent angle to angle 1, which means it's the complementary angle because they both add up to 90 degrees. So that means that if this is x, then x plus 39, that's angle 1, equals 90. And if I subtract 39 from each side of the equation, which you know how to do now, then x, these cancel, right, equals 90 minus 39 would be 51 degrees. There you go. Just like that. Easy. Okay, next question. It says find the value of x. I know the word's cut off, but it says find the value of x using the measures of the two given adjacent supplementary angles. And remember, supplementary angles add up to 180 degrees. So all the way from one side, all the way from one side to the other side, all of that is 180 degrees. So if we just simply say 3x, which is this angle right here, and 54, which is that angle, if we add them together, we get 180 degrees. So we're solving for x, right? So we have to now do what we know how to do. Subtract 54 first from both sides of the equation and bring down our 3x. 54's cancel. So 3x equals 180 minus 54 is 126. And now we're finally going to divide by the coefficient of the variable, which is 3. And 3's cancel now, and that leaves us with x equals, and then if we divide 126 by 3, we get 42. So the value of x is 42. Just like that. Easy. Good job, boys and girls. All right, we're getting there, boys and girls. We're almost through all of these problems. This one says, find the supplementary angle of 128.9. So if I draw the picture, that would look like this. A straight line with two angles, and this one, say the bigger one is 128.9, and this one is x. So that means that we simply add them up, x plus 128.9. How much does it all equal? Remember, if we draw our arc all the way from one side to the other side, how much is that? That's 180 degrees. So do what we know how to do. We'll subtract 128.9 from both sides of the equation, and those are going to cancel. Bring down our x. It's going to equal, and when we do the math of 180 minus 128.9, we're going to get 51.1. X equals 51.1 degrees. Yeah? All right. Good job, boys and girls. Okay, boys and girls, so here we go. We're going to have to click on that little icon to see the diagram, and that is right over here. Okay, so let's work here. So we have angles 1, 2, and 3, and we know that they all add up to 180, and we know that 2 and 3 up by themselves add up to 90. Angle 1 is also 90 degrees. Okay, so as this says, angle 1 is equal to 125 minus y, and angle 2 is equal to 24 degrees, and angle 3 is x plus 46. So solve for x and y and find the measure of angle 1 and the measure of angle 3. So we want to find all our unknowns. Okay, so let's go back. This is our problem. Here is our original, here is our original diagram, like this. This is angle 1, and this is angle 2, and this is angle 3. Is that right? Let me double check. Yeah, that's right. So let's see. Angle 1 is, okay, angle 1 is, measure of angle 1 is 90 degrees. So if we say measure of angle 1 equals 125 minus y, and we substitute 90 degrees for the measure of angle 1, then, and we subtract 125 from both sides, we get negative 35 equals negative y, which means that if we just change all the signs, y equals 35. That's one of our answers. There's y. Okay? Now, it says the measure of angle 2 is 24 degrees, so we know that. And the measure of angle 3 is going to be then, if that is unknown, but it's x plus 46. So if we say measure of angle 3, that's x plus 46, plus angle 2, which is 24, how much did 3 and 2 add up to? You got it. It's 90 degrees. So 46 plus 24 makes 60, 70. X plus 70 equals 90. And we subtract 70 from both sides. Then we get x equals 20. Now let's see if we have all of our unknowns solved for. We have y, check. We have x, check. And we know the measure of angle 1 is 90. This has to be 90 because of the way it's sitting in the diagram, like that. And the measure of angle 3. Well, measure of angle 3 is x plus 46. And if we know x equals 20, then we're going to put 20 in for x, 20 plus 46. So the measure of angle 3, our last thing we have to solve for, is 20 plus 46, which is 66 degrees. There's our final answer. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 answers. Rewind this video and watch this one again if you need some help, boys and girls. Good job overall, though.